One of the guys that get a lot of credit is Steve Blackman from Muscular Development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.
Yeah, kind of like Ronnie, I've just been through so much, I just stopped sharing because, you start not to believe, how can one person go through so many things? It's just, you can't even make a movie out of it. But I've been dealing with, my leg issue for about 2 years. And I think even like a year ago, you guys see me on crutches sometimes. And even here at the Olympia last year, I left Saturday because I was in too much pain and everything. But during that whole 2 years, I'm having all these tests done. I'm still traveling and everything. And I can't begin to explain the pain. It's just ridiculous. But as extreme competitors, sometimes it's a bad thing that we just get used to going through such hardship and continue. But last year, just the pain got so unbearable, and I'm going to all these doctors and these specialists, and it was really sad when you really need great doctors and you find out that they're not as great as you think. It's really scary when you find out when doctors are looking at you and they're wondering, what the hell is going on. So to speed everything up, so I was really upset with my doctor. I was like, listen, because I was going to ER, I was going everywhere, MRIs and all this stuff, and they're telling me, oh, you tore a ligament in your leg, going to ER, and they actually put a boot on my leg and stuff like that, and then I was on crutches. And I'm not stupid. This isn't a torn muscle, and it's not getting any better. So I got really angry at my doctor and I said, you guys need to do something more aggressive. This don't make no damn sense. It doesn't make any sense. So he actually called in for an MRI, an ultrasound. And went in for an ultrasound, and within like 5 minutes, the lady found out what was going on. So if any of you guys got an ultrasound before, you know that the technician can't talk to you about anything. But she was so dumbfounded, and a look on her face, I just pleaded with her, like, what do you see, what's going on? And she goes, do you have a stent in your calf? I'm like, no, I don't have a stent. I have a stent in my groin area, because for my kidney transplant, they had to take off my main artery in my leg to make my kidney transplant work, because my donor was too small. She was very petite as a female. So they had to put a stent from here that feeds this leg blood. So I said, no, I have one in my groin area, but I'm having a stent in my calf. She goes, are you sure? I go, unless they did something while I was asleep, I don't think so. And she got more professional. She goes, you know what, I'm not going to talk about it. I can't explain anything. I'm just going to continue doing my job. And as she got lower into my calf, she just stopped, and her eyes got really watery. And she said, are you sure you don't have a stent or anything down? And I'm like, no. I go, please, but now my eyes are getting watery, and I see a professional being terrified. And it scared the hell out of me, and she goes, you're a puzzle. I'm like, what do you mean by that? She goes, because sitting here looking at you, I wouldn't think I would see what I'm looking at. I'm like, what do you see? And she's like, either you have a stent, or I'm looking at the biggest blood clot I've ever seen in my life. So at that time, everything changed. She said, I need to call an emergency, I need to call staff. You got to stay here, you can't go anywhere. After about an hour, they talked to all the doctors and they released me. I was on my way home. And my actual doctor called me and said, where are you? I said, I'm on my way home. I just got into my garage, I got to get packed because I was going to Australia. And he was like, I'm shocked that you even made it home. I'm like, what do you mean by that? He goes, you don't understand, you have a DVT. I'm like, what's a freaking DVT? I never heard of that. What is that? He goes, I can't explain, but I need you to come down to the office and I'll give you some blood thinners and we'll get this taken care of. And I'm like, well, doc, I got to take a flight in 48 hours on my way to Australia. He goes, I advise you not to get on that flight. And I was like, this is business, this is how I make my money. My flight's already paid for. Tony Doherty walked me down and everything. I'm like, you don't understand, you don't back out of things like this. You know, money's been spent and so on. And he just, you know, to be shorter, he just said, listen, if you get on that flight, you're not going to get off the same way you got on. It's like, no, you don't understand. You know, I'm really naive, I'm not understanding. And I said, no, you don't understand. I'm actually flying first class. You know, it's actually a bed. I'll be able to lay down. I'll get up and walk around. I'll be okay. He goes, okay, so you don't hear me. So I just tell you, if you get on that flight, you're going to die. You're not going to get off the flight. So that caught my attention, and I was like, okay. He goes, so you're still going to take the flight? I'm like, I'm not sure. This is not making my money. You know, I really don't believe this. So speed everything up. I'm packing, and I can't even walk. It's so bad now that I can't even walk and I can't pack. And I sit down on my bed, and I'm thinking, you know, how the heck am I going to go to another country and do my job, and I can't even pack my clothes? So I lay down and I go to sleep, and I wake up, and things are drastically worse as the day go on. It's about 10 o'clock at night, and my whole right leg is numb. And my whole side of my right is numb. My leg is numb. Not to be too graphic, my groin, everything is numb. So I'm terrified. So I call him, and I tell him what's going on. He goes, get off the phone and get to the ER right now. I'm on my way down there. I'm like, man, I've been to the ER twice. These freaking guys don't know what they're doing. They just get there and tell me you have a DVT. And I go, again, what is a DVT? He's like, I don't have time to explain, and you don't have time to explain. I want to explain to you. And again, me and my honesty and my ignorance, I'm like, I gotta go to Mercy again, they're gonna have me all day, I'm starving, so I'll go to Burger King first, right? A true bodybuilder right there. So I go to Burger King and I go down to the ER, and you know, they know who I am and everything, and we're all laughing, we're all talking, blah, 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 and they take my blood pressure. And that's when things kind of changed. So my blood pressure is 220 over 210. So everybody's attitude changed. And I'm wondering, you know, I'm the only one in the room not understanding what's going on. And my pain threshold just goes through the roof. And I'm screaming. They're like, listen, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get you out of pain. And honestly, I don't really remember too much more, because they had to give me such extensive hard drugs. I started losing it, and it was a really good friend of mine. I was in a room, and I was like, Paul, you know, just go ahead and take off. You know, I'll be in there for a couple hours, and they'll let me go tomorrow. And I just said, go ahead and contact everybody and let them know where I'm at, you know, because nobody knew. I don't remember anything else. Everything else I know is because I was told, or people videos what was going on. But I literally don't even remember, but I had to sign consent to be induced into an induced coma, because they want to do something called a blood clot buster. I guess that's when they go into the main artery and they use these different things. And it wasn't working, so I was moving too much, so I literally signed consent to be put under. It was only supposed to be for a couple hours, so I was actually in coma for over 10 days. Anyway, so in a hospital for 4 months. And it took me a long time to release some of the pictures. I've had all of those. So the pictures you've seen where I had the slits on both sides, they actually found a doctor who was doing a new technology, and he used cadaver arteries, and that's why both sides of my calf is open. So they inserted that. If any of you guys heard the video, you know, they thought they saved a leg, and I was really happy. But things continued to get worse, and you know, I just had an epiphany. I'm like, I'm not going to be walking too much longer. Sorry. So there was just a strange calmness that came over. It's like, this is not working. And, you know, they're saying it's working. And I don't want to be too long-winded, because we've got some amazing other gentlemen up here. But throughout the time from when I got released out of the hospital in June, I kept showing up at the emergency room, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. Just because the pain was it was unbearable. And they would always tell me, you know, Flex, there's nothing we can do. If you want, we can drug you out of your brain and we'll send you home, but there's nothing we can do. We've done everything. There's no more arteries to work on. It's all gone. Either we damage them in surgery or we use them all up. There's absolutely nothing else to do. I go, well, what's the final stage? When it gets to it, it's going to take the living. So by them being honest, I started getting very comfortable with, because this was going to happen. The fast forward, I was actually on a on a trip, a business meeting to open up my nutrition line, which I came up with the name Iconic Supplements. And I was down at a laboratory where we were doing tests and everything, and I couldn't even walk through the lab. It was so bad. I'm limping and everything, and they asked me, I was like, oh yeah, I'm all right. But I knew it was just, again, it was something that sounded like this is it, it's over. So I called my wife. I said, hey, I'm going to fly back, and I'm probably just going to go ahead and go straight to the ER from here. And she's like, okay, I'm going to do that when you get back. And I remember what my doctor said earlier, don't get on that flight. And I sat there, and this is just a regular short flight, so I'm just sitting in first class, just a regular seat like this, and I'm like, before the plane takes off, I'm like, geez, I probably should get off this airplane. I probably should just go to the hospital here. And I just sat there and the plane took off. I'm like, okay, made it to Vegas, and I couldn't even walk through the airport. It's just, I'm a very private person. I'm analytical. I think about everything. I think how am I sitting? I'm sitting up straight. Who's looking at me? I'm a walking straight. I'm one of those type of guys. So for me to be limping through the airport and sobbing like a baby, I was like, man. But I just released all that. I was just in too much pain. I called my wife. I'm like, okay, I made it. She goes, you know what? Just come home. I'll drive. I don't want anything to happen. So we went back to the hospital. They understood everything and like, okay, we're going to run some tests. They did an MRI, an ultrasound, and a couple hours later, the nurse just walked in the room. And I'd already told my wife, all right, listen, I'm probably going to lose my legs. She's like, no, you're not going to, don't say that. We'll make that decision. I'm like, no, that's my decision, man. It's nobody else's. That's my decision. I'll make that call. And the lady walked in and she said, and she just stared at me. She just walked in and just stared. It's kind of like in the movies when somebody loses a life in the doctors or the police shows up and knocks on the door and gives that person a look. She was looking at me like that. And she just said, Flex, we're at that point. I said, okay. She goes, on the right side, it's 90% shut off. And on the left side, it's 100% shut off. And I just said, take it. She goes, you sure? I'm like, yeah, just take it. I go on top of that, if it's really blocked like that, if the blood clot breaks, it could kill me. But she goes, yeah, true. So, that's just the way that went. And again, I just had a very calmness over me. And as you guys seen some of the videos I posted while I was in the hospital, I just knew at that time, everything I've been through, back surgeries, kidney transplant, FSGS, that I lost my kidneys over, everything else that I don't even talk about, knee surgery, all the scars. I'm like, there's no way that God allowed me to go through all these horrendous things and do all these tremendously great things to run and hide. I just knew I couldn't go and hide and disappear. And I just made a decision like, wow, this is a great opportunity to be able to speak and be in a different realm that I've never been in before, and that's being an amputee. So I made my mind up that I want to be a spokesperson. I'm working on opening up a nonprofit organization because I have tremendous support. People support all over the world, support from all these gentlemen. But there's so many people who don't. And I always would think like, man, what if how hard would this be if I just didn't have the support system? And that's that. So. I just want to say one last thing. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't. I'm a blessed man. I look at other people like on stage that have the honor of handing an award away to the wheelchair category. Those guys are way tougher than I am. I've met people who are double amputee, triple amputee, and if you don't know what that means, I mean they lost both leg and an arm. And I'm in a great position. There's a lot of people worse than me. At the end of the day, life deals everyone limits. Everybody has something that they have to deal with, and I just have a different thing that I have to deal with. But I'm incredibly honored to be in this position. I truly am, and I feel it's a blessing. And just want to leave you guys with, I've never been comfortable in my skin. Never. it's crazy because people look at me now and I see them. I was that guy. I would look at him and be like, wow, look at that. You know, we've all done it. You look at him and then when you post them looking at you, you change your look. And now I see people looking at me like that. I'm not sure, I'm like, oh, I'm good. So you see this iconic picture that mostly I use when I'm looking down. You look at that person like, wow, he's perfect, look at him. I was so imperfect. I couldn't stand the way I looked. I didn't think I was good enough. You know, I look back at those photos now and I'm happy, but as that person, I was never happy. I always wanted more. I always seen flaws. I always was uncomfortable. And now I'm like, wow, if that's what it took for the man upstairs to make me feel comfortable, then amen. Because now I just don't care. Incredibly comfortable, incredibly blessed and relaxed. So I've never been relaxed. So yeah, I'm great. I'm great. So don't feel sorry for me at all. I've been blessed to be in this position. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Nick Scott's right down in the front of the Beast, we call him.
Yeah.
One of our pioneers in wheelchair bodybuilding. You do public speaking all over the world. You've made that pretty much a livelihood these days, which is fantastic. But you've always said something years ago, as we've done many of these together. You said that the one thing that changed in your life was perspective. That you looked at things differently now. And from what Flex is saying, it sounds like you hear the same thing. Which, you know what, you gain perspective. And you know, at the end of your tale, or Flex, you said you're done. You're not done, my friend. You've got loads of stuff going on. You've got.
No, I'm just done I'm done with chasing myself and chasing being happy. My new mission, and I take it on as a badge of honor. It's just like I said, I just want to go out and help people who are disabled in all different kinds of ways. And you know, there's also people out there who are disabled mentally, which I've been very honest about being suicidal all my life and everything like that. So I'm just in a great position now to, you know, to be able to help other people. Sometimes it takes for you to have to go through something. To sit in a room with another person who's going through that, you really have to go through that. So I just knew I had to embrace it. If I really want to be a spokesperson for people and people who are in my position where, you know, you're in pain. I'm in pain 24 hours a day, never goes away. So I'm normally at a level 5 to 10 all day long. Don't take any narcotics. I just don't believe in those drugs. Now, when I'm in a hospital, as you've seen, I'm out of my brain. You know, 2 minutes is like a week for me. But when I come home, I can't take that type of garbage. So I just go through it. But it's just different. And at the end of the day, you know, it's an old saying, the glass is half full or it's half empty. But at the end of the day, it's really just half. It's your perspective on how you look at it. So, you know, as somebody was asking me before, what do you think, you know, when you look at these photos? Well, when I got home, it was really rough. Because I have stairs in my house, and the first time, you know, when you're walking upstairs, you walk up and you look at the next stair. You don't look over. You see how far that is. And I was like, Jesus Christ, if I fall, it's over with. So in my house, when I go downstairs, I never go back up. When I go back upstairs, it's time to go to bed. I don't go back and up and down. So the really hard part for me is grabbing perspective is all the demons came out once I got home. Because I walked in the house, I was like, every stitch of furniture in this house I bought, I had 2 legs. Every photo in my house, I had 2 legs. All my kids, all my photos, I had 2 legs. And I was really devastated. I just really lost it. And my wife was trying to comfort me, and she's like, baby, you know, you're gonna be okay. And you know, she had an epiphany. She stepped up, she goes, you know what, I'm not gonna say that. I have no idea what you're going through. And I just told her, hey, listen, I really have to go through this. The hills and the bowels of it. If I'm going to sit in front of another person and try to save them, I got to go through everything because I got to know what they feel like. In the ghetto, we try to, you know, we have this saying, you don't know what I've been through. You know what it's like for me. Well, I have to go through these things if I'm going to be able to help other people. So I got to conquer those things. So again, you know, it's just perspective. It's perspective.
Well, you still got 2 legs. You just have Terminator now, my friend.
There you go.
Ronnie Coleman. 98 Olympia. You and Flex Wheeler in the center. Here comes the big call. What were your thoughts at that moment? Did you think it was yours? That this was kind of Flex's show, whatever he thought it was kind of his for the taking and all that? You know, you came up from a 8th place finish, I think, the year before or some such. Bring me back to that moment when you were Flex are on stage.
I got to go even further than that. In 1997, I got 9th. So the year before that, I got 6th. So when 97 came around, I'm like, man, I got to get the top 5. You know, that was my dream. You know, make the top 5. 97 came around and I went from 6th to 9th. And I'm like, okay. At least I still got a job, police department. And at least I still have a free membership in the gym. So I'm gonna keep this bodybuilding thing going so I don't lose my free membership from the police department. So 1998 comes around and Flex called me like, hey man, how's it going? I'm like, hey, it's going pretty good, man. Me and Flex always been really good friends. Flex taught me a whole lot along my bodybuilding career. He pretty much responsible for me. I had to tell him that he's pretty much responsible for me being 8-time Olympian and winning my first bodybuilding competition back in 1995. And when I was in college, I was always the smartest guy in the class. You know, I just look like this, you know, for the most part. I'm not really dumb as I look. And when I wasn't the smartest guy in the class, I would always go and get with the smartest guy in the class and study with him. Well, I took that same philosophy in 1994 after Flex had won All Classic and a whole bunch of other shows. It was in Paris, France at the time. If I could learn from Flex, I got to learn from the guys when I was in college, maybe I could be better to bodybuilding. But I was getting like, that was 14th place. Every now and then I get like 7th, 8th, you know. Flex get first. So I like, okay, I'm gonna go knock on Flex's door and see what these guys doing. You know, so I can learn a bit more. So I go knock on Flex's door. I'm quite sure he's surprised to see me, you know. I'm a guy from a small town in Louisiana, and, you know, not too good at the sport, and trying to learn as much as I possibly can. So I just came straight out like, hey man, how do you win all these shows? He's like, well.
Chinese food?
Yeah, well, he didn't say Chinese food, but he did say something about, you know, good diet, you know, and he asked me what I was taking. I was taking like, you know, vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin A, stuff like that. Stuff you get in the store, you know. Like, now, dude, you want to do this big guy, you gotta get on the porch. Like some vitamin D, you know, and a couple other things. Now, but dude, they don't sell that in the store.
Just surrounding at Publix, do you guys carry vitamin D? No?
He's like, I got this guy hooked you up with. So he hit me with this guy and sure enough, I got all different vitamins. So I went from, you know, getting like 14s and 11s and 8s. I found one pro show. Oh, okay, cool. It's nice. I need to hang out more with this flexibility guy. Gotta know this stuff. So going back to 1998, they called me up like, hey, what's going on? You know, come here, let's talk on the phone. Skip the guy. I don't want everybody knows the whole thing.
So Canada was the first show he beat me. And I was like, wow, and Ronnie was so excited. Ronnie very kindly have told the story, and I appreciate it greatly. One of the things I say, he's not the only one I told what I know. That's his gift. He put in that hard work, he did that, you know. But when he beat me in 97 at Canada, he's like, damn, Flex. 96. Yeah. He goes, damn, Flex, I'm pretty good, huh? I'm like, yeah, you are.
This was the next year I did, told me all that stuff though. So fast forward on to 98, you know, Flex called doing the phone, but we talked all the time, right? So who doing nutrition? I'm like, well, I got this guy I'm working with. Ain't going too good, but you know, better than nothing. He's like, this guy named Chad Nichols, he's pretty good. I'm like, is he that good? Like, yeah, he's like, I think he's one of the best guys ever. So I like, well, give me his number, I'm gonna call him. So Frank gives me his number, I called Chad. He didn't pick up. Left a message. He didn't call me back. So I'm mad now. So I called Flex, like, hey man, why you give this guy a number? And I left a message, he didn't call me back. I'm like, no, well, he just like that, you need to call him again. So I called Ted again. This time he called me back. And so I go on and work with Chad in 1998. Finally started winning some more shows. One Night of Champions, somehow always was a dream of mine. I won in Canada again. And came to Olympia, I'm like, okay. Now it's finally my chance to make the top 5. If I can make the top 5, this would be the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my whole entire life. Because I'm never going to be no better than that, you know. Small guy from a small town in Louisiana, you know. Well, I remember I was prejudging, you know. Well, let me go back to the night before. The night before, I'm working with a guy named Chad Nichols, and he had me eating all this food. And I never eaten that much food before in my whole life. He had me eating like a whole can of apple filling, a whole kind of chicken, bananas, dates, raisins, all kinds of stuff. And I was doing this like 3 or 4 times a day. I did that for 3 days in a row. Well, by the time Friday comes, I had completely smoothed out. I was so full of food, I could hardly move. And I was sick too. And I go and I start posing in the mirror, and every cut on my body had disappeared. Oh man, here we go again. Back to 1997. I'm not gonna make the top 5. Because I just lost all my cuts. So I called Chad like, hey man, I don't pretty much screwed everything up here, and I need a little help. Like, I'll be there in a minute. But Chad comes by, gives me a drink. Actually, with some powder in the cup. We put some water in there and drink it. I'm like, okay, I drink it. And I go to bed, and I wake up the next morning. I'm so disappointed by not, you know, being in shape the night before. I didn't even want to look at myself in the mirror, and I didn't. So I go backstage, and there's a mirror. I'm like, what the? I'm avoiding every mirror in my room, and I go backstage, and there's another mirror. So I go like this, and you know, avoid the mirror again. So we're out there on stage, and call outs being done, and I didn't make the first call out. Okay, here we go again. I make the second call out. Oh, man. We go again. Finally, I think I got the third call out. All right, okay, look like I'm in the top 10. So fast forward to the night show, and I'm standing on stage. I think they call out the top 6. God, I made it. I'm gonna finally get 5th place. I'm gonna make the top 5. So they called out 6th place, and it wasn't me. Now I'm real happy. You know, like, at least I got 5th place. So they called out 5th place. Now, get ready to step forward and call somebody else's name. I'm like, what? I ain't gonna make the top 4. They called out 4th place, you know, for sure that's gonna be me. Well, I didn't get 4. I'm still standing on stage. I'm like, okay, I know I got 3rd. Well, I didn't get 3rd. So, fast forward to me and Flex standing on stage together. For sure, I got 2nd, you know. I ain't gonna, I know I'm not gonna, you know, get 1st or nothing like that. So, what seemed like forever for Wayne to call out the guy in second place. You know, I'm getting ready to step forward and get my medal and all that kind of stuff. And when he said, Flex's name, I'm like, oh man, they made a mistake. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, Mr. Williams, they don't make no mistake here. And the next thing I remember was my girlfriend come on picking me up off the floor. And in that time, Flex came over and said something to me. Chris Camille came over and said something to me. And I think I kind of like fainted when I figured out that, you know, they actually called Flex's name second.
Flex, what did you say to Ronnie at that moment?
Everybody always asks me what I said to Ronnie. Ronnie had stayed at my house before, trained for many of the shows. I mean, it's kind of interesting how, you know, Arnold talks so charismatically about, you know, Franco. You know, even though me and Ronnie never trained together, I've never trained with him anyway. The dude's too strong and even have hurt me. But we were that type of close, you know. And I was happy for him. So when I went over, you know, in the video you see, I went over and leaned over and told him in his ear, I said, hey man, I love you. You know, congratulations. And by the way, I'm not going to be at your victory party. And when I said that jokingly, but what I meant is I'm upset. I didn't win. Now, why am I going to go show up at his victory party all upset and make him look that close? So stay your butt in the room and let him enjoy his victory instead of, you know, walking around sneaking up the show. So I went back to my room and ate a bunch of pizzas while yeah. Again, everything I told Ronnie, I told a few other people. That's Ronnie's gift. I mean, he was just blessed. That was the man he was supposed to be, and that was a perfect timing. Whatever he says about me, okay, fine. But he put in that heart. We all seen the tremendous videos of Ronnie working, and what I knew at the time is there's no way catching him now. Because he didn't slow down. He always trained at a certain level that I couldn't achieve that level anyway. So when a person gets out ahead in front of you, it's no catching that person. All I thought at the time, let me push him as hard as I could, and let me try to shut down second, for the rest of my life. But again, in my opinion, this man over here is the greatest Mr. Olympia of all time, and I hope I'd be alive to see someone bring that type of size and condition and shape, but I don't think it'd be in my lifetime.
I know fans really appreciate that, the insights. 'Cause these are the things you never get to see. Like I said, what did you say? What was your thought process? At that time. These are great stories, and I know the fans really appreciate it.